Live.
Come on, bro. Click the screen right now.
You said what?
I'm gonna check the screen right now.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So we're just gonna go over. Various topics. I got a book I want to go through. Book I want to read on basically the accounts of the slaves, what the slaves had to say about their treatment, right? Their treatment up under the so-called white man, and how black people done forgot what we done forgot and lost that knowledge of who we are, as far as who we are in this earth at this present time in America. Like how low we are looked at by the so-called white man. We think because we got voting rights and because we've been able to, get good jobs and be presidents and vice presidents of such certain things, that we somehow equal to so-called white man, right? And so we always have to remember our ancestors. That's why the ISUPK is so beautiful, because it brings into remembrance who we are. And in that, if you're a person that's searching for your identity, you're a person that's asking questions like, damn, why all of this always happen to black people? Why is it that it seems like everybody is against us? Does it seem like everyone's against us? But on the flip side, whenever something else happens to somebody else, we standing in front, for their rights,
Right.
like what's going on with the Asian people,
Right.
right? I've seen so many videos of black people standing up for Asians, and black people don't even stand up for black people,
Right.
unless it's a police officer killing them, right?
Right.
Unless it's something that's mainstream on the media and blowed up, that's what get black people attention. But when black people killing each other in the hood, when Pookie killed Tyrone, you don't see black people out there, right, standing up saying we got to stop. We telling each other, not telling the world, but telling each other we got to stop this. You know what I mean? But we'll stand up for the so-called, Asian man, the Korean man, Chinese man, when they don't fight our battles. Did you see Chinese people in Ferguson? Did you see Chinese people in the George Floyd protest? Did you see Africans? You know what I mean? Don't nobody come and fight for black people, but everybody love to be black until you really got to be a nigga. Until you really got to get treated like a nigga, right? They'll put their hat to the back. They'll sag their jeans. They get, whatever we do, they'll do it. They'll emulate our whole style.
Right.
But when it comes to the part about us being oppressed, they don't want no parts of that, right?
That's right.
And so we have to remember who we are. So give me Deuteronomy. Give me Deuteronomy. What is that? Let me see. Let me get it. Deuteronomy, I think it might be 32. Remember the days of old. You was gonna say something, so what?
2 and 7.
32 and 7.
Oh, God.
Like you said, the Koreans, the Chinese, they don't give a damn about they never sports in there. They just got to whooping our ass, or whooping our sisters' ass in their stores. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Throwing them out, beating them down. You know what I'm
Man.
saying? And if they hate like they tell us, if you hate the Asian haters in America, take your ass back to your country.
Right, like that's just how they tell. Get that brother a hand.
Right.
That's just how they tell us, right? They tell us, if you don't like it here, go back to your country. What the brother was saying, why don't they tell the Asians, if you don't like it here, go back to your country? Because that's exactly what white people say to black people. They say, if you don't like it, then leave. Won't you get up out of here? What the brother was bringing out is so heavy, which I forgot to explain or say, is that Asians was going upside black women's heads. They was locking the doors on black women,
Right.
accusing them of stealing, locking the doors, and beating the hell out of them. Like literally. There's a video where they thought a sister shoplifted, it was the man and the woman, Asian man and the woman, and he kicking her, beating her, then he put her in the headlock and took her to the ground, right?
Right.
Their sister hadn't took anything. You know what I mean? Like they have a short memory. But in the ISBK, we don't forget.
That's right.
We don't forget about all the things that all those little stories, everything that's happening, and then it's not even that. It's that the Lord is trying to show Black and Hispanic people, Black people, that these people ain't for you. The Lord is trying to show you it's not just something that's just happening. The Lord is doing this on purpose.
Right.
Like what he doing to those fake Israelite camps. How
Right.
he revealing how they really are. He pulling their skirts up right now.
Right.
It ain't just something that just happened. No, the Lord is doing this. So what I'm saying is the Lord is showing you. He done showed us so many times, but like it say many times in the scriptures, we are hard-headed people.
Right.
We're stiff-necked people. But he's putting it right in our face. He put it right in our face with all the police killings. Then right after that, it was the Asians putting their hands on Black women, beating the hell out of them. Then after that, it was all the Karens. It was just a string of Karens. I don't know if brothers that really paid attention to that.
Right.
It's just all of a sudden, Karens just everywhere. Calling the police for this, calling the police for that, calling the police on a little Black girl selling water, calling the police on some Black people having a barbecue. It was just a string of them. And it's just like a spiritual thing where the Lord is trying to reveal to his people to open your damn eyes. Look, I'm showing you.
Right.
I'm showing you who they really are, and you refuse to look with your spiritual eyes and see the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, sir, I just want to add in also, like, it's heavy what you're saying, because it's like, that's why the Most High compared us to the harlot, because
Right.
we're so willing to jump into anybody else's oppression or so-called oppression,
Right.
only because it's televised and it's socialized, like everybody's into it. Oh, the Asian man this, and oh yeah, well, I'm here for Asian people. Oh yeah, this Italian guy this. Oh yeah, what do they call it when they put it on their social medias?
Viral, or
When they're like, I'm here for the Asians, or I'm like,
I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I'm
like
here
something
for
like
it.
that,
I'm like, yeah, like the brother was saying, like that's why the Lord called us, like a harlot. Like we done hold away from our God, and we like a whore. Anytime there's something viral for some other people, we run and we flock
Right.
to be involved, to protest, to fight for them, right? When they don't fight for you.
Right.
They don't give a damn about you. You know what I mean? We can go to any Asian spot out here right now, and this is every hood. This is hood to hood where Blacks and Hispanics live. We can go to any Asian spot, and you will not find your people in there working or being employed. You'll find their families in there, right? They not even hiring you. They ain't giving back to your community and none of that.
Right.
The money ain't coming back into the Black in the Black and Hispanic community. It's going out to feed their families. Those East Indians, it's going out to go back home, get sent back home to their families. It's going to send their kids to college, right? They just feeding on us. But like the brother said, we hoes not only for the so-called white man, but we hoes for all the other nations.
Right.
We whore ourselves out. We sell ourselves cheap, right? We don't have no type of racial pride or racial identity. The strongest thing that we have in the Black community is Black Lives Matters. And Black Lives Matter, listen, and Black Lives Matter don't even believe in a Black family. Their goal is not for the Black family. Their goal is for how they put it on their website, extended families.
Right.
They're against the traditional nuclear family with a man, woman, and child. They want broken families. They for a woman and a child. They're not even for Black men. So how the hell can you be for Black people if you're not for Black men, where the seed of Black people come from? Black Lives Matter, the whole organization is started by some they call themselves queers. I'm trying to be politically correct. Some lesbian women, right? It got nothing to do. And all of those black people that have been shot by police and their families are destroyed, all of the millions of dollars Black Lives made, they ain't gave them people one dime. They ain't built one house, ain't set up one college fund for none of those children of the so-called Black men that they built their organization off the black men that were killed, right? What was you gonna say?
I have no heart for the heathens. You know what I'm saying? I think what they get it's just what they need. I think it's justice. You know what I'm saying? All the times they robbed and did our people wrong and beat our people up in stores, you reaping what you sow. You deserve that ass whooping. You deserve to get shot down. Whatever you're going through, because they've been killing us freely, getting away. Even though since they beat up in those shops. You know what I'm saying? I used to do loss prevention. I used to do security.
Right.
You can't put your hands on nobody.
Right.
They steal for your shop. That's against the goddamn law. And they getting away with it. Ain't none of those people locked up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They just get a pass to abuse our people.
Right.
They do whatever the hell they want to us. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad something happened today.
Right. Damn right. Get a brother a hand, man. See, what the brother said is so heavy, because that's the type of love you got to have for your people. You got to have so much love for your people that you don't have none for anybody else. You don't got a goddamn drop of compassion or nothing for anybody else, right? We don't got, I don't got no tears. I don't got no compassion for what's happened to Asian people, because all of my compassion, all of my tears, and all of my heartache and pain goes straight to my people, straight to my people. You understand? Like that's who I'm concerned with. And that's righteous. It's nothing wrong with only being concerned with your people. But in America, they make you feel wrong, especially black and Hispanics, for saying you love your people. You prefer your people. Even the scriptures tell us in the spirit of brotherhood to prefer one another. But the so-called white men tell you that it's wrong for loving your people, for loving your kind, loving your kindred, right? You got that out? Give me that scripture.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 7. Remember the days of old.
The Bible says, remember the days of old, right? Like a lot of people like to say, like, oh, that was then, that was back then. When we talk about history, they look at history as though it's black and white, as though like the scriptures say, it ain't nothing new under the sun, right?
Right.
What's happening now has happened before. How you see the rise of homosexuality, how you see the rise of them coming after the children and trying to have the children determine what their gender is, right? They did that in ancient Rome. They was having sex with little boys in ancient Rome and Greece, right? There's nothing new under the sun, right? The Bible says to remember the days of old. You know what I mean? We come in a society where we think everything we doing is the first time it ever happened. We think it's the first time that people have ever done it. The first time somebody has ever said it. When the Bible is telling you it's nothing new under the sun, right? Keep reading.
Consider the years of many generations.
Consider the years of many generations. That means to do your research, do your history. Consider the years of many generations. That means going back,
right?
Going back in time. You know what I'm saying? Keep reading.
Okay. Ask thy father, and he will show thee.
The Bible says, ask thy father, and he will show thee. So when you grow up, you ask your father, you ask your elders, what was it like back then? And they can tell you what it really was like. They can tell you how hard it was. They can tell you how they couldn't walk down the street without no white men hopping on their back, right? Is that it on it?
Sir.
Okay, keep going.
Thy elders, and they will tell thee.
You ask the elders. You ask those elderly people. I sat down and I asked my grandmother, like, how was it when you was young? She said, well, I lived it. I was in Pauline, Texas, and it was bad. It was like, as far as the racism with white people, and they couldn't wait. Her mom, which would have been my great grandmother, came to California, and she came to start to establish something, and they couldn't wait for her to send for them to come to California to get out of that racism, right? That's what you do. You ask your elders. Your elders know. It's still people today that could tell you they pick cotton. You understand? It's people living right today that can say, I pick cotton. You know what I mean? And so that's how See, it used to be a saying. I don't know if y'all remember. It used to be a saying on television where he used to say, "The more you know," talking about if you learn the past, you you won't repeat the things in the future. In so many words, y'all know the saying. Like if you know your past, if you know the history, you won't basically. You know the saying I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
So it's stupid for anybody to think that they don't need to know their history. They don't need to ask their elders. They don't need to know where they came from. They don't know. They need to know what happened in these generations, right? It's a disservice to yourself and to your future, right? Because if you don't know your past, right? Whatever happened in the past could be happening today, and you don't even know it. It could be repeating itself. Like they say, history repeats itself.
Right.
It could be repeating itself, and you don't know it because you don't know no damn history. You don't realize that what the white man is doing has happened to your people before.
Man.
It happened with the Africans. It happened with the Romans. It happened with the Persians and the Egyptians and the Babylonians. But if you don't know, you don't know, right? You know what I'm saying? Read it from the top again, because this is what I'm gonna bring out. I want to bring out some stories in this book. It's called The Bullwhip Days. The Slaves Remember, and this is real accounts of the slaves telling you how it was on the plantation, telling you their experience being in slavery, right? So right after the slaves got out of slavery, the United States government sent writers and recorders to go talk to these slaves because this was some good history that they needed to document. And they said, we're gonna send these writers to go down south and talk to these newly freed slaves, right? And get their take on, because who could tell it better than a slave could tell it, right? Who could tell you better about slavery than an actual slave that actually lived in slavery? So read it from the top again.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee.
Ask thy father, and he will show thee. Who's your father? Your father could be your biological father, or it could be any man that's in the age realm of your father. Right. Your elder, a man that's older than you, that can tell you about the days before you was even born. Tell you about when he was coming up, what it was like, right? Go ahead.
And he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee.
Thy elders, and they will tell you. Listen, can you imagine what you could find out if you went to what was them homes called, where they have the old people, like a senior citizen home, and you just sat down and had conversations with the residents, with the black people, right? And just asked them, what was it like? What did you experience? You grew up in the 60s, you grew up in the 50s, the 40s, the 30s. What was it like when you was little? What was it like? And you would be surprised at the stories they'll tell you. You would be surprised at how they really feel. See, you don't really know because you don't inquire. You live in your life thinking that this is we in the future. We got iPhones. We got things they never had back then. That was lame. That was black and white. Now we living in color, right? And you never think to go ask. Just see what was it like. And then if you go ask and you listen to them, you'll see ain't nothing changed, man. What black people don't really understand is black men, black people in general get killed at a higher rate than we was getting killed in the 60s by the police, right? We think we living in a better time, a post-racial society where we done got over race and now we're just, equal and everything. In reality, we live in a harder life than they was living in the 60s, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and read this out. So I got it highlighted. Page 115. Go ahead and read that for me. Let's get to it.
Jack and Rosa Maddox. Yes, I was born a slave, and so was Rosa.
Now this is a brother that he's with his wife. They elders now. They elderly, and so he's speaking, and then she gonna speak, and he gonna tell you how he felt about his slave master. Go ahead,
We got out of the chattel slavery, and I was better for getting out. But Rosa don't think so.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Kind of. She says all we was freed for is to starve to death.
So they got out of slavery, and he said he better for it. He feel good that they no longer slaves, but his wife don't feel that way because, well, keep reading. She gonna say it's gonna say it.
Come. I guess she's right about that too, for herself. She says her white folks were good to her. But don't you expect me to love my white folks?
Right. So he's saying she said her white folks was good to her. And meaning like she got to eat everything she wanted to eat, no whoopings, no, not getting whipped or nothing like that. So she felt like getting freed from the plantation, now they don't have a meal coming every day. You know what I mean? She said it's worse for her. He said it's good for me, Salaki. He said, I'm glad I'm not a slave anymore. Right? But he said she loved her white folks.
Right.
He said, don't expect me to love them. Go ahead,
Come on. Expect me to love my white folks. I love them like a dog loves hickory.
He said, I love white folks like a dog loves hickory. And if you like, I had to figure out what the saying meant, right? So if hickory is a wood, it's a tree that produces hickory nuts. And when dogs gnaw or chew on hickory nuts, it can mess up their gestational tract. It can mess up their stomach. And it's almost like it's poisonous, right? So he said, I love white folks like a dog love hickory. Like I don't love them, right? I don't love white folks, right? Go ahead,
Okay. I was sitting here thinking the other night about the talk of them kind of white folks going to heaven.
He said, I was thinking about how they talk about white folks going to heaven. Go ahead.
Lord God, they turned the heaven wrong side out and have the angels working to make something they could take away from them.
He said they would turn heaven the wrong side out and have the angels working for something they could take away from them. That's how he looked at the so-called white man, like he is the devil, right? Like he the devil the Bible speaks of. And listen, I heard this in the ISUBK. If the white man went to the moon and we went to the moon, we'll still be slaves on the moon. Right? And see, this is what black people got to remember. With the scripture we just read, remember the days of old, ask thy elders. That's your elder right there. Right. That's your goddamn elder.
Right.
That's your elder. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. He's telling you the white man is the devil. He's telling you if the white man went to heaven, he'll turn it inside out and be looking for the angels to work for something that he could take from them.
That's right.
You understand? Is that it on it?
Nah, sir.
Keep going.
I can say these things now. I'd say them anywhere. In the courthouse, before the judges, before God, because they done all to me that they can do. I'm done past everything but worrying about Rosa, because she don't get enough to eat and because she feel bad all the time.
Now when the slaves got released, the slaves was just on their own. So what he worrying about, he ain't worrying about nothing they did to him. He'll say that to anybody, right? He's one West. He's one West, because he'll tell anybody the white man is the devil.
Right.
He'll tell anybody the same thing he said, like what they'll do in heaven, what they'll try to have their angels working for them. That's one West. Because if the white man went to Mars and he decided to move everybody there for a better life, he'll make black and Hispanic people slaves of that kingdom, right? Yeah. And another thing, what I was also explaining is that when the slaves got released, they was destitute, they was poor, they was in poverty, right? When they came off of them plantations. Not everybody moved away. A lot of them stayed right there in the South, right? And like he said, I'm only worried about my wife. I'm worried about Rosa because she don't get that much to eat. But Rosa, she had a good time on her plantation. Well, this brother, he told the goddamn truth. Go ahead,
No, you right. Just talking about
give me page 178.
You said slavery is in the past and all that. They want to look over. It's good to know your history because I'm saying these Edomites, they pass that hatred down from generation to generation.
Right.
They teach their kids to hate you.
Right.
You make niggas think they playing the hell out of you. They're
Right.
taught to hate you. There's no way you can stand up on top of your enemies and keep them oppressed, loving them.
Right.
You don't love your enemies. That's why we're serving underneath them now. And they,
Right.
their whole propaganda is to teach us this worthless stuff that we do. Teach our women to be whores, our men to be homosexuals. You know what I'm saying? Trying to attack our kids. You know what I'm saying? These cats is weak. They're attacking kids. If they love you, they will teach you right.
Right.
They can do what they want to do. They can keep that homosexual stuff in their culture.
Right.
But they really love you. Hey, this is what we do. This is what your God told you not to do.
Right.
They don't.
Right.
They do not love you.
They do not love you. Get a brother a hand.
Right.
That was well said. That was well said. They do not love you, because if they did, they'd say, you know what? Well, this is what we do. Y'all serve y'all God. Y'all do what y'all do. This is what we do. This is our, this is our thing. You know what I mean? We like to do this. This is our thing. Like what we like to do. We're not gonna push it on you. We're not gonna force you to do it. We're not gonna put it all in the commercials and the television and your children seeing it and all of that. So yeah, the white man is the devil, man. But this goes right along with what I was saying about, like, we feel like we equal to these people. We feel like things have changed because time has passed. And then we read the scriptures where it tells you to remember the days of old. Then it say, ask your father, ask your elders. That's your father and your elder. We just heard right from the horse's mouth, man. We heard what it really is like.
Come.
You know what I mean? Go ahead. Is it a title? Can you skip up? Is that the beginning of that story, or is it it's already? It has a subtitle. I want to get the brother's name, or if it's a sister's name. Who's talking? Who's talking? Yeah.
Come on. Yeah, this one. Charlie Moses.
This is another brother.
When I gets to thinking back on them slavery days, I feels like rising out this here bed and telling everybody about the harsh treatment us colored folks was given when we was owned by poor quality folks.
He call them poor quality folks, right? Low quality, low grade souls, low grade people, so-called white men. Go ahead.
Come on. My master was mean and cruel. I hate him.
Say that again.
I hate him.
Hold that. Let me get the David. Hold on 1 second. Let me get David.
Right.
That's righteous too. That's a righteous thing to hate the people that bring you tribulation.
Come.
Something like it. Oh, shoot. So that's well, that's 2 Thessalonians 1:6. It's a righteous thing to recompense evil, right? For to give them repayment, or for the Lord to get his get back. I want to get King David. That's in the Psalms, right? Like, is it 137 or something like that?
I'm checking right now, so it's like my phone is slow as hell.
I swear. I hate them with a perfect hatred. I got you. 139. Psalms 139 and 22. Hate them with a perfect hatred, right? Right. He said, when he think about how cruel they was, he said, I hate them. Now you got a picture. This is an old man. This is an elderly man saying these words, right? And he like, I wish I could rise up out of my bed. He said, when I think about them days, I wish I could rise up out of my bed. You know what I mean? That's how bitter and angry he is about how he got treated when he was a young man. Go ahead,
Come. The book of Psalms, chapter 139 and verse 22. I hate them with perfect hatred. I count them mine enemies.
I hate them with perfect hatred, man. And when Christians say, oh, God is all love, well, what about what King David said?
Right. King
David is beloved of the Lord, man. Right. He's a man after God's own heart.
That's right.
What about King David? So you telling me the Lord don't love King David? You a damn lie.
Right.
King David said, these are the Psalms. This is where your grandma got the book open in the middle and the Psalms sitting on the table. Don't know the Bible, but it's open in the back window of the car. You know what I'm saying? So that's how some black and Hispanics, they had a Bible open up sitting in the back of the car. Like as though it's gonna protect them or something, man. But you don't know the damn Bible. You don't know that in the Bible, in the Psalms, King David is talking about he hate his enemies. He hate the people that destroyed his people. He hate the people that enslaved his people.
That's right.
Well, this brother hated them too. Go ahead and read it. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, don't they got like small booklets in hotels with just the Psalms in it?
They got booklets. It was it ain't just the Psalms. It's like the New Testament. It's half the book, half of the book. You know what I mean? When I was a Christian, I thought that was something. Having that little book in the back of your pocket, had that little book in the back of your pocket, half of a book. Not even the whole shit. Like how can you get the understanding of even if we just talking about a story? How can you get the understanding if you got half of the book?
That's right.
That's what the Christianity is, focusing on the New Testament, half of the book, right? And when the Lord says, "I come in the volume of the book,"
that's right.
You know what I mean? Go ahead, read it from the top. What he said.
All right. What
the brother? I want the brother. Okay, yeah.
Charlie Moses. When I gets to thinking back on them slavery days, I feels like rising out this here bed and telling everybody about the harsh treatment us colored folks was given when we was owned by poor quality folks.
Listen, the brother said when I think about how I was treated, he said when he think about how he was treated, he want to get up out of the bed. That's telling you that he's an elderly man. He's damn near bedridden, but he wants to get up. Like it just burned him up when he think about how he was treated. Right? Keep reading.
Okay. My master was mean and cruel.
His master was what?
Mean and cruel.
The so-called white man is mean and cruel today, man. He's mean and cruel today and has no compassion for black and Hispanic. Do you hear about that thing that's going with the voting? Where they voting at? I read the story. I forgot where they voting at. They created these long lines and they passed a law where you can't bring water or food to the people standing in line to vote. And it's mainly in black areas, right? The white man is mean and cruel.
Right.
Man. Go ahead,
Okay. I hate him. Hate him. The God Almighty has condemned him to eternal fire.
He said, I hate him. I hate him, right? Can you imagine an elderly man saying that? Like that should strike you to your core. Like, damn, that was cruel what they went through. This is old man. You know, usually when you old, all your fight is gone. You kind of like in chill mode, right? He started talking about how he was treated. He want to rise up. He want to get up out the bed and tell everybody. He's like, I hate him. I hate him. And like King David said, I hate him with a perfect hatred, right? It's a righteous hatred. It ain't nothing wrong with it. Can't nobody say a damn thing about it because it's righteous, right? It's right before God. Go ahead,
Oh God. Of that I is certain. Even the cows and horses on his plantation was scared out of their minds when he come near them.
God damn. He said even the cows and the horses was scared of the master when he come near them. There's a scripture. Let me find it. I'll find it real quick. It's in Isaiah 14, where it talks about prepare slaughter, right? Let me get it. Let me find it real quick. That's heavy, that's super heavy. Super heavy. I thought I had it highlighted. Let me select it. Let me see. I got it. But he said even the horses, right? Even the horses is going to be upset. I got it. The horses. Let me see. That is maybe we need to turn on if you can look on YouTube and look on Facebook and make sure there ain't no questions or comments.
I think no, it wasn't a comment. It was a statement.
Oh yeah, let me get this real quick.
It was Officer Cabal. I wanted you to call him.
You said who?
Officer Cabal.
Let me see.
Cabal.
Just bear with me. Bear with me 1 second. Bear with me. Let me get this. I want where the Lord. I want, if anybody listening, I want where the Lord, where in Isaiah 14, prepare slaughter for his children. He also says that even the trees is going to like low key be happy, rejoice. Like that's what that reminded me of about how the animals is even in fear of the so-called white man, right?
Isaiah 14:21.
Let me hear it.
Prepare slaughter for his children.
I mean, that's where I want you to start. Yeah. Not start from, but that's where it kind of starts at. But it's probably after that.
I know what you're talking about. Even
so it's in there. It's in there. If you can't find it, don't sweat it.
I'll look for it.
Yeah, but that's what we got to do. We got to remember the days of old, man. We gotta go talk to your grandfather if he's still here. Go talk to your grandmother if she's still here, right? Ask her, Grandma, how was it when you was growing up? Where you grow up at? You know what I'm saying? Was it racism? You know what I mean? Did you have to worry about anything, right? You'll find out that it wasn't a lot of black on black crime, right? How they say black on black crime. It was white on black crime, right? It was the so-called having to worry about the so-called white man catching you when the sun go down. It was a so-called white man in a uniform pulling you over and nobody ever seen you again. You know what I mean? But just go and ask them. Go and ask them and say, what was it like back then? You know what I mean? You'll find out that a lot of things have not changed as far as what's going on with us today. A lot of as far as race relations, you know what I mean? A lot of things have not changed. You found it out? Let me see. Let me see it right now. Let me see. I got you.
Is it Proverbs 29?
No. It's in Isaiah.
Oh, it's in Isaiah?
Yes, in Isaiah. What I was saying was where you started, it's after that. So
let me see.
Let me see. I'll find it right now. Oh, you know what? It might have been before that. So like, we'll come back to it. We'll come back to it. Let's just keep it moving. We'll come back to it.
Okay.
We'll find it. So where you at? Where you at in that? Was that done? Were we done with what the brother was saying? Okay, keep going.
Oh Lordy, I can tell you plenty about the things he done to us poor niggers. We was treated no better than his hound dogs.
His hound dogs. He said we wasn't treated no better than his hound dogs. They treated the dogs better than the slaves. Keep reading.
Oh God. Sometimes he didn't treat us as good as he did them.
Right.
I praise to the Lord not to let me see him when I die. He had the devil in his heart.
He had the what?
The devil in his heart.
The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Even the slaves knew that the white man was the devil, right? And that's why it's so important to remember the days of old. It's important to remember what your ancestors went through. It's important to remember what happened in the generations before you, right? That's why it's so important. And it's important because the Lord said it is. The Lord said in Deuteronomy to remember the days of old, to consider, meaning to you having a good life and you doing everything and you know everything's going good for you, and then you wonder like, dang, why is you know things like this happening to my people? Why is it only my people that's getting put out of cars and getting shot? Why is it only my people that they say hung themselves in jail cells because for some whatever reason? Why is it all these tragic events happening only to my people? And then you start to consider. You start to consider the years of many generations. You start to look back. You start to inquire about your history. You start to say, well, damn, they tell us that our history started when we were slaves. We came to America. Then you start to consider more and find out more generations of what actually happened and who you really are, right? And that's what it's all about, man. It's all about coming back to your heritage. You can't come back to your heritage if you never consider many generations. If you never ask your elders. You got to ask your elders. Those elders, that brother right there, they didn't know they was Israelites. But the record that was left for them, we know that we the Israelites, right? The records that they left, just by telling their story, we know that we the Israelites. Because they knew that the white man was the goddamn devil that the Bible speaks of. You know what I mean? Even they knew that. Is that it on out? You can drop that out. We're gonna switch gears, man. I know a lot of people talking about that Little Nas X video and all of that, and you know what was it, the 666 shoes? You seen that out?
I seen it, but I didn't understand it because I don't keep up with it.
I got it.
I seen some of the posts today. I thought not the real Nas went homo. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
I didn't know what was going on.
Brother thought the real Nas switched up and went transgender, right? Oh, you found it?
Yeah, I found it.
You found it? All right. The brother said he found it, that scripture. What does it say?
It's Isaiah 35:1.
All right. I was way off.
It's let me make sure. It's the wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them, and the desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose. Oh, that might not be it.
That might not know. This one, you know what this one is saying? It's saying the trees will rejoice.
Yeah.
Since no feller is come up against them. A feller is like a machine that chops down trees, right? So this is when the white man falls, even the trees will rejoice. And of course, you know damn well the animals gonna rejoice. That's right. All the animals that he killed for sport and for fun, they gonna rejoice too, right? The whole earth is gonna rejoice when the Lord destroys the so-called white man, right? Because then everything will be safe. Everything will be, able to grow, able to reproduce without being killed for sport, without being killed for his constant greed, right? Go ahead.
It's crazy, right? They lock you up for dog fighting, but they go out and kill all kind of lions and tigers. And
man, brother, you brought a heavy point, man. You brought the brother said they'll lock you up for dog fighting, but they go and kill like what does they call it? The king of the jungle. They go kill lions for sport. They lock you up for fighting pit bulls though, right? Go ahead,
Is it the fir trees?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, you was right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we off of that. But with Lil Nas X, right? This is the brother that came out with that song "Old Town Road" like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Right, and now he done came out with some satanic. I can't even explain it. A homosexual video, right? And everybody's in the uproar. Right? And you got people saying like, "What about the children?" Because he got a lot of children followers.
Right.
And then you got people saying like, "Well, y'all always trying to condemn people, So he basically, you know what I'm saying, went ahead and went to hell. Like in his video, it's like him descending to hell, and you know what I mean. I can't even explain it. It looked like he humping the devil, or well, I can't. You know what I mean? It's just it's grotesque. But people saying that it's art. People saying that it's creative, and that's America for you. So give me Isaiah 5:20. So you know it's a big uproar about this, about what's going on, and they always use us. You know, the so-called white man owns all of these record labels.
That's right.
They the one putting this music out, but they use you. They use black and Hispanic people to push it, right? They use black men to push, you know what I mean, the stereotypes that they push in their music. They use black women to push the stereotypes of being a whore and all of that, right? And this is white executives. This is fake Jews that own these record labels, right? Go ahead,
Come. The book of Isaiah, chapter 5, verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good.
The Bible says, woe to them that call evil good. So you sitting there saying that, you know, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion gyrating on each other, bumping carpets is good. It's women's empowerment. Like it's a good thing, right? Keep reading.
Okay. And good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness.
And put darkness for light and light for darkness, right? So like the things has been, you know, flipped upside down. It's like the Planet of the Apes. It's like the world is turned upside down. Like apes is running everything. You know what I mean? Children. In a better analogy is children are running this place, not adults, right? The Bible also says that children are our oppressors. The people that rule over us are like children, right? They think like children, and that's how they live their life. The so-called white man lives his life for the moment, right? And so with this thing with Lil Nas X, they saying that it's a good thing. It's many people saying that it's nothing wrong with it. It's a good thing. You should supervise your children better. If you don't want your children watching it, supervise them better. That's what they're saying, right? And these is black people. This is black women. This is black men saying you should supervise your children better. Well, the last time I looked, our children is shooting up the whole goddamn block. The last time I looked, so these are the people that saying supervise your children better, but I see black men shooting up the block. I see black women twerking every goddamn where. I see black children trying to rob Uber drivers, right? So all of a sudden we the authority on how to supervise your children, but our children is running rampant and crazy and doing whatever the hell they want to do. As if, because you know they say, well, you know, when it comes to social media, you got those parental controls and all that, as if parental control is the new parents. Right. That's going to stop a child from seeing Nicki Minaj. That's going to stop a child from seeing Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. That's going to stop a child from seeing whatever they want to see. A lot of people came from good parents from my era, from your era. But niggas was still behind the bushes humping girls and doing everything they wasn't supposed to be doing, right? That it don't necessarily stop, you know, children from doing what they want to do as far as social media, because they see all the same things. If a child has Facebook or Instagram, they're going to see some funky behind.
Right.
They're going to see it. It's inevitable.
Right.
They're going to see it because that's what it's flooded with. It's flooded with that, with women, half naked women, and this video and this things that really are for adults, right? But I got a solution to that. You teach your children the law, statute, and commandments.
Right.
You instill in them the laws of God, and then you won't have to worry about none of the things that the so-called white man is pushing to your children, or pushing, period, right? We were so worried about, a lot of black people was worried about this and that, and these images and what they putting out as far as the music industry, when really all you have to do is get in this truth and admit to yourself that the white man is the goddamn devil, and nothing will surprise you with what he does or what he allows, right? He's going to allow us to destroy ourselves.
Right.
Like this brother right here that did this satanic stuff. He's going to allow us to destroy ourselves. That's a given. And just look at the history of black men entertaining, black women entertaining. It always ends bad. It never ends good. It's never, what is it, happily ever after. It's never that. They end up supposedly dying of a overdose, dying of this, never living a full, long life, man. Right. Go ahead,
It's like it, sir. I just want to add on too, like, if we were to know the truth of the Bible, if everyone was to train their kids and know the truth of the Bible, they would see that what Lil Nas X is doing is not even effective to us. Like, other than the dressing and trying to get kids to dress like females and stuff like that, that whole video with the, that was all anti-Christian. It wasn't, it had nothing to do with us.
Right.
The whole snake in the garden, rising, ascending to this bird in heaven, and down to this red man in hell. Like, that's all Christianity.
I'm glad you brought that out. Like, it's all Christians that are mad. It's all black people with Christian values that are mad. And like what you were saying, if they was in the truth, they wouldn't even be mad. And I took it a step further to say that if you were in the truth, you wouldn't be surprised.
Right.
Because this ain't the first time somebody did something like this, and it won't be the last time. But the main point is that you just realize that the white man is the devil. It's the same thing as when people go out their mind with the conspiracy theories, right? The Illuminati and all of that. I understand that. But you know what's bigger than that? You know what will simplify all of that? Just know that the white man is the devil.
Right.
And you won't be surprised. You don't put nothing past him. You're not surprised at nothing he does or nothing anybody says, but you're not moved by it because you was like, he's a deceiver from the beginning. I already know what time it is. Right. You ain't gonna have me all to the left talking about, oh, okay, they making homemade clouds. They doing this. Yeah, I understand that they doing that, but he's the devil. Will you just say he's the devil? Just say that he's the devil that the Bible speaks of, and boom, all your worries is gone. You simplified it to one thing. It's not like, oh, it's a conspiracy here, conspiracy there. They doing this, they pushing this on us. No, he's the devil. And that's all you gotta need to know. That's it. You know what I'm saying? What you gonna say, Sawat?
He showed you right away. You know, a man last work, he doing goddamn work of the devil.
Right.
If you can't see that, something wrong with you.
Exactly. Exactly. Like the brother said, he show you who he is. He do the damn work of the devil. If you can't see that, then something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? You trying to see what you want to see that you feel like affects you. But I'm trying to tell you, we've been trying to tell you since 1969 that the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. So we're not surprised when we see things like Lil Nas X or, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion humping each other at the Grammys. That's not surprising to us because the white man wants us to destroy ourselves. And if he's going to push that on us, let me tell you something. Just hold your point now. Okay. Let me tell you something. Like in that book, you had slaves that what they would do was they would steal so that they can be full, because what the white man was, the food he was giving them wasn't enough, so they would have to steal, from the vegetable garden. They would have to go out and hunt, but the main thing is they would steal. Like, it's a story where a sister, she said every now and then she would just steal a tater, steal it, put it in the oven in the ashes, and then get it and eat it on the sly. She just eating it while she working, nobody see her, right? And that's coming from a place of being destitute and being in poverty, right? Forced poverty. Well, the story of, I don't know if you can pull it up, the story of this brother, Lil Nas X, he was sleeping on his sister's couch. He was going through it like a lot of black men, going through it, wondering how you gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? And then the white man gave him an opportunity. And so the point I'm saying is, like, Coming from what we come from, if your mind ain't right, you'll sell your soul and you'll give it all to the white man and do whatever the hell he says do, right? To become a millionaire and to have all of your dreams come true. And our people do that, right? But just to simplify it is that with all of that, the white man is the devil. But he put you in that position. You're in that position sleeping on your sister's couch because the white man did what he did to your people, right? And then now he comes and offers you a shining contract to be a homosexual and to sell your soul or whatever they do in that music industry, whatever the hell they do, whether it's the music or the entertainment industry, they all turn out all messed up, all on drugs, all crazy,
Right.
lost their mind, all messed up, die early. You know what I mean? But so he's the villain and he's the hero. You know what I mean? He created the situation, then he so-called lift you up and take you out of your poverty and out of your situation, right? And that's why he's the devil, man. He's the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Right.
What was you gonna say?
Oh, Salaki, sir. I wanted to just add in, like, that just shows like how soft the Christian church has made the Most High. Like, their perspective of their God is like a soft type of like, oh, just a loving character, which is why they can have nemesis like that.
Right.
People disrespecting it like that.
Yeah.
Because if they knew who the Most High really was and what he's capable of,
Right.
nobody would go out of their way to visually disrespect the Most High.
Yeah.
Like that.
Right.
That's how you know they don't know.
And then like you said, what you were saying earlier is so true and so right, is because they're Christians. They don't know what we know. So
Right.
when you see the video and you see the snake in the garden, you see all of that, and you like, they're coming from a Christian standpoint.
Right.
They're angry and enraged from a Christian standpoint.
Right.
They don't even know the damn Bible.
Exactly.
They don't even know what the scriptures is actually saying, right? So, you know what I mean? That is what it is. You know what I mean? Give me Isaiah 3 and 9.
Come on.
You was gonna say something, so what?
Yeah, exactly. Christian church, in their way, man, the Most High Christ stand for nothing. They have they don't stand for nothing. They
Right.
have no standard. That's
Right.
why they make the Most High. There is no law. There is nothing that you have to live by.
There's
So
nothing you gotta live at. Yeah, there's nothing that being a Christian, there's nothing that will even make anybody upset at you for being a Christian. What I'm saying is, like, you know, like the life we live, people are upset with us. People are angry with us. They want to, you know, try to fight us and spit at us and hurt us, right? Kill us. But when it comes to being a Christian, nobody is against you. Everything you say, people agree with. They probably don't like it. They don't want to. They probably feel like you religious or whatnot. But nobody is against you to the point where they're angry with you. Like, and another thing, Christianity accepts like LGBTQ. Am I saying something people don't know? They accept them. They accept LGBTQ. You can be you know, lesbian, homosexual in the Christian church. Nobody is against you. They're not against anything. There is no controversy in the Christian church. The truth is controversial, right? It's a problem with the truth, because people that said they believe in God, when they come across us, they are confronted with the truth, and they're confronted with everything they learned from a child, right? And it's a problem. It's a problem. They got an issue with it, right? Because it's either what their whole life's been a lie, or we are right. That's it. That's it, and that's all.
Right.
What you got? What you got?
So like you said, Isaiah 3 and 9.
Yeah, Isaiah 3 and 9.
Come on. The book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 9. The show of their countenance doth witness against them.
The show of their countenance and how they look does witness against them. They wear the gay clothing. I have to say gay, I mean like Ghey. You know what I mean? They wear the gay clothing. That's right? Their countenance, how they look, right? Does read it from the top again.
Come on. The book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 9. The, the show of their countenance doth witness against them.
It does witness against them. You can look at them and tell what they're about. You can look at Little Nas X and tell something wasn't right. He started wearing pink tight suits with fringes. He was a cow. He started off as a cowboy with that "Take Me Down to the Old Town Road," and now when I hear that, I hear that sound. I just think about Brokeback Mountain, man. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but I can't even listen to it no more. It done took on a whole nother thing. So he, he came out that way. Then he started dressing all flamboyant. Keep reading.
Okay. And they declare their sin as Sodom.
And they declare their sin as Sodom. Excuse me. Then he come out and say, he's a homosexual, right? After he done blew up and everything. After he done gained all the children followers and all the followers. Now, he declared it to the world, right? Read that again. Read that precept again.
Oh God. The book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 9. The show of their countenance doth witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom.
As Sodom and Gomorrah, man. And Sodom and Gomorrah was like, that's what America has become again. America is on its way to being destroyed, man. America is on a fast track, a fast train to a collision course with the Most High, right? And all they deeds. I mean, if you in the world, I don't understand it because, we in the truth. So when you in the truth, after a while, you start to think a certain kind of way. In order for you to think like a person in the world, you kind of got to stand back. And because you wonder, like, why people don't see what you see. You wonder why they don't see how everything is deteriorating. You see that thing with Dwayne Wade's son and how Michelle Obama went on congratulating his son, which is now like supposed to be a girl, congratulating her on being so strong and being so inspirational and all of that, and referring to her as a woman. I mean, as Black people, we have something in us that know that ain't right. We know that ain't right. Black people, we have the Lord, we have the potential, or we are the most spiritual people on the earth. And we know that it's something that's not right. But that Christian spirit in America is what that derails us off of the truth, man. Like you'll see where brothers want to fight that. Sisters want to fight back. But then the so-called white man, his system, people that follow this come down on them. Whenever you speak out, whenever anybody speaks out about that, whether you a celebrity or not, you better watch out. Because they're going to, in a minute, you're going to lose jobs, you're going to lose endorsements, you're going to lose things for speaking out against the evil that's in America, for speaking out against the homosexuality, the transgenderism, just speaking out on it and being honest. So what you see, you can lose everything in this kingdom. Right. And this kingdom is on a collision course with the Most High because it does the same thing that Sodom and Gomorrah did, which is have men, so flamboyant that they're willing to, rape other men. They're willing to want to get to know another man based on just seeing them, based on just seeing them. Like in the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, the men just seen the two angels. They didn't know they was two angels because they appeared as men, and they wanted them. That's how flamboyant and wicked Sodom and Gomorrah was, right? Where these people had all the power. The regular straight people, they didn't have no power, right? Like a sister, what's that sister name? It's a sister, Little Ma. She said, I need to do something. What she said? You know what I'm talking about? She said, I need to do a movement for straight people because it seemed like all the homosexual people want to pressure us and bully us.
Right.
You know what I mean? We need to have a day or a movement for straight people, which is again to that point where people, a man and a woman that just want to be together, we gotta have a movement too, like the LGBTQ movement. Regular people gotta have a movement to fight off that evil, right? Go ahead,
I'm calm. they hide it not. Woe unto their soul, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves. Say ye to the righteous, that it shall be well with him. For
Oh,
they
go ahead and stop. But it says they hide it not, right? They don't even hide it no more. It's like right in your face, man.
Right.
It's like they don't have no shame in this in America, right? They don't have no shame. It's nothing that they can, you would think that, like, say, when I was growing up, like I said before, people would be coming out of the closet. They would have some type of shame. Now the whole nation has taken on the the LGBTQ community's ideology, and if you say something, it's a wrap for you. You lose your job, you lose, endorsements, you won't get opportunities, right? It's hate speech, and it has taken the place of the civil rights movement. It has taken the place of what was supposed to be our place, black people place, of getting civil rights. And now here we are in 2021, and we're still fighting for civil rights. We're still fighting to just be equal, not get treated like a crook, a criminal, just on eyesight by the police. Can you imagine that? They trying to take the place of us of and get what, how can I say it? They trying to get rights that we never even got. The civil rights movement died in like the 70s. We never got those rights, right? We never got all the things those people in the 60s was fighting for.
That's right.
But the LGBT community they have now taken the place. They believe like they've taken the place for civil rights. They believe like they can say they're equal to black people for the oppression, the prejudice, and discrimination they go through, right? And so I just wanted to bring that out. So give me Proverbs 22:6, because this is how we can combat the thing of how people in the world right now, they talking about like, well, what about the children? They were saying that with Nicki Minaj. I keep saying Nicki Minaj. They were saying that with Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, like when they was on the Grammys. Like, what about if kids see this, right? Kids gonna see it regardless.
Right.
Kids are gonna see it regardless. They're gonna see it. Like, you telling me that all these kids, all these videos with these kids dancing to these songs, and they ain't never seen the video, they gonna see it regardless, right? But this is how you combat all of the negative images, all of the things that the so-called white man is pushing into your house, on your children, on social media. This is how you combat that. Go ahead, Doc.
Come on. The book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go.
The Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go, right? Don't leave them to their own devices. You don't tell a child to just do what they want to do. If you let a child do what they want to do, you know what I mean? They'll eat candy until they get sick, right? You know what I mean? Like, what would your child at home do? They'll eat cereal until they pass out, because they're a child. They don't know no better, right? You got to train them. You got to tell them what to do. You have to train them. Just like, give me an example of some people that train.
Like boxers.
Like boxers. Boxers train. Athletes, military train. You know what I mean? They train. They do things that are repetitive. Every day, repetitive, repeating this thing, training, doing it every day, right? Train up a child. Keep reading.
Come. And when he is old, he will not depart from it.
And when he is old, he will not depart from it. So you instill in your child the values of the scriptures. You instill in them the law, statute, and commandments. You tell them, like, yeah, this is what you do, this is what you don't do, this is what you got to look out for. You explain it to them, break it down to them. Show your children what happened to their people in slavery.
That's right.
We was going over that earlier. Remember the days of old, man. I show my son pictures of black. Listen, if the white man can say that he can teach your child about sexuality in the schools now, will you teach your child about how he really is and how he really treated your people? I show my son black men hanging from trees with white people standing around them. I let him see that.
That's right.
I let him understand and let it get in his chest so he can understand who he is dealing with.
Yes.
Right? You're not dealing with the man that wears a suit and tie and won't hurt a fly. You're dealing with the devil that the Bible speaks of, right. And you got to treat it as such. You got to be on point when you out and about. You got to be on point. If you ever encountered by the police, you already know what time it is. Most importantly, serve the Lord so that when those things do happen, you have the Lord with you on your side. You know what I mean? But that's what you're supposed to do. Show your children the real.
That's right.
They want your children to see women twerking and bouncing her butt. They want you to see black men being effeminate, homosexuals. You show your children the history of their people. You show your children the history of America and the so-called white man in the relationship between us and them and why things are like how they are today. That's what you do. Train them up in the ways of the Bible. You train your child up in what King David did when he was a child. How he killed Goliath. Like, not no Christian story. Because the Christian story, what they do in Christianity. They say David killed Goliath, right?
Right.
You show them the real, what really happened. David killed Goliath, then he cut his goddamn head off and he put it up in the air and said, now what? You know what I'm saying? You let them know the real about what happened. What happened. Because this place is so demonic in pushing all of these things on your children. You have to train them up in righteousness. You have to train them up the right way. You got to. You know what I mean? And when they get old, they won't depart from it. When they get old and a friend pass them the blunt, they say, no, I don't do that, bro. I'm not doing that. Matter of fact, this is the last day I'm hanging with you. When your son get older and a sister wanna talk to him and he notice like, nah, she's out there. She's a thought. You know what I mean? I don't want a woman like that. I want a woman from such and such in the school. I like his daughter because I know she's been raised a certain kind of way. And that's because of what you taught them. That's because of what you instilled in them, right? When they get out in the world, because you can't watch your children 24/7. Right. You can't watch, especially in this day and age. Your son, your daughter is with their friends. Their parents ain't watching them. So they got a phone, they got a tablet, and you probably control everything your child sees in your house, but you can't control what they see when they go to school, when they at the mall with their friends. You can't control none of that. But what you can control is what you train them up to be. You can't control that, and the scriptures is giving us the prerequisite that how to make men of God and men and women of God, and how to survive this system. Right? Is that it? On read it from the top one more time.
Come on. The book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. He
won't depart from it, man. So many people that grew up in, so-called good homes, right? Grew up in a good home and on the streets right now, doing drugs, stuff, lost their mind, right? Grew up in a good home with all the values, and their parents were so careful not to let them hang here, not to let them do this, and they still became a homosexual.
All
right? Parents was all on them. Father was on her. Wouldn't let her go nowhere. Wouldn't let her do none of this. Now she got 4 kids and she's single, right? So this is the answer right here, how to train up our children, because America only destroys our people. America destroys America. Their way is not the way for our people to be successful. Right. We have the keys to success. right here in the scriptures. We have the keys to success in the ISUPK.
Right.
You see those fake Israelite groups, they don't got the keys to success. They don't got it, right? Because they over there killing sisters.
Right.
They don't got it because they in the Passover with strippers.
That's
I know y'all brothers seen that one.
right.
They in the Passover with strippers.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't got the keys. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna end with that. Give me 1 Corinthians 11 and 19.
Go.
They don't got the keys, but that's how you combat Little Nas X, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion. You want to combat what they pushing, what the white man is pushing into your house onto social media. You train your child up. You know what I'm saying? According to these scriptures, you train them up. You teach them. You know what I mean? You teach them the values that are in the Bible. You teach them manners. You teach them how to say you're welcome. The water, Yonderbar, the water, thank you. You teach them manners. You teach them how to be respectable. You teach them all of those qualities. Most importantly, you teach them the law, statutes, and commandments, right? Teach them not to celebrate holidays. Not to, you know what I mean? Like my son, he's never celebrated anything. And he does not feel bad. He don't even feel like he missing out on nothing. You know what I mean? He got everything he need. He don't feel no type of way, you know, the day after Christmas or the night of Halloween or, you know, Easter Day or none of that, right? Because he's been trained up that way. He's been trained up. So when he becomes an adult, none of those things, birthdays, none of them things even matter to him. It's just another day. Like it's another day to me. Hell, it's been plenty of times I'm at the slave. I don't even realize it's a holiday coming up because I'm so far removed from celebrating Esau's holidays. You don't even realize it until somebody say it to you. Or you walk into a store and all of the whole store is changed up where they put all the you know, the stuff for it, for that holiday. You know what I mean? Because you be like, you so zoned out and you like the only holidays I'm worried about is the high holy days of the scriptures. You know what I mean? Give me that out.
Okay. You said 11 and 9? 1 Corinthians
11 and 19.
19. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 19. For there must be also heresies among you.
Give me heresies. Give me the definition of heresies.
Okay.
It's for these fake Israelite camps. This is why ISUPK is the home of the truth. Always has been, always will be the home of the goddamn truth, man. Because these fake Israelites, the Lord is, I don't want to use the word exposed, but the Lord is revealing who they really are. The Lord is, like I said earlier, he is lifting up their skirt, right? Like a woman's skirt get lifted up and she's ashamed, right? The wind blow, knock her dress up and she hold it down. Like we know that the picture like Betty Boop. Right. She hold her dress down. Like, oh, that's what he's doing to these so-called Israelite groups, these fake Israelite groups that the ISUPK is not affiliated with.
That's right.
Give me heresies.
Come on.
Definition of heresies. Make sure you get the Webster.
Come on, yeah, I got that. The definition of heresies: the holding of religious beliefs opposed to church doctrine.
Okay.
Such a belief or opinion opposed to a general accepted view. It's heresy in my family to not love baseball.
Right. So what a heresy is people having two different points of view. There being like a orthodox view, meaning an original view, and then somebody coming up with another view, and they're not getting along. That's what happened when the school split. It was a heresy in the school, in the ISUPK. And brothers split and they left and they created other groups. And today you have a lot of fake Israelite groups that came from those heresies. Right. So read it from the top again.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 19. For there must be also heresies among you.
The Bible says there must be heresies. You know what another word for heresies is? A word fake Israelites like to use? Division. Divisions. Like, why are we so divided? Why are we so divided? Why y'all going again? Why y'all so divided? The scriptures tell you it must be. It must be heresies. It must be divisions. Go ahead.
No, God. That they which are approved may be made manifest among you.
That they which are approved may be manifest among you. It got to be a split. It got to be a heresy. It got to be divisions. It must come. It must be, so that the ones that are approved will still be here.
Man.
ISUPK since 1969, we ain't went nowhere. We still going strong, right? These fake Israelite camps, the Lord is pulling your skirts up.
That's a fact.
He's revealing it to you, to the people on the outside that always have an issue with camps. You got an issue with One West, with camps, with this, with that. Well, the Lord is sifting the wheat right now. He's separating the chaff from the wheat. He's showing you who's the real and who's not the real.
Right.
He's showing you what IUIC. You have plenty. He's showing you with that trend with Joy Morgan. He showed you. He showed you with the brother that shot the transvestite in the face. He's showing you. He's putting it right in your face. He's showing you with this other group that had a Passover and had strippers at the Passover.
Right.
The Lord is showing you right now. And guess what? He's making the ISUPK manifest who's approved. Those who are approved among you, they're right here. It's the ISUPK under Commander Junior Yohana. With that, Pastor Class, Priest and Officer, that's God.
Oh.